Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today, guys, we're jumping down into the world of Bitcoin. We've seen a little bit of volatility. We've seen the price pull back a little bit. So I want to share my recent kind of thoughts on the price action and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Now, if you have not yet joined us in Discord, link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check that out today? And if you are looking for a little bit more from the crypto space, why not check out the new Cheeky podcast? It's a great way to stay up to date with everything that is happening here in the crypto space on your daily commute to the office. All right, guys, let's waste no more time. Let's jump down into the technical analysis here for Bitcoin. So as you can see, this is Bitcoin paired up with USDT. We're on the hourly chart, and Binance is our data source. And we were talking about this high area of 21,888 yesterday. We were also talking about how the importance of, if we were to go higher than that, that means our structure is vastly different to what we think it is. And obviously our real target is down here at 19,770, dropping down lower than this level, essentially kind of provides us with a good insight as to knowing where we are heading, which is somewhere down here towards 15,422 and 16,743. Right, those are the areas that we're mapping out. Now, as you can see, we're still within these parameters, which means it still technically could go either way, but we are ushering in a pretty decent move to the downside here that actually shows us with a bit of an interesting kind of perspective on what might actually happen next. So, as you can see, I drew out these 5 waves. Right, wave 1 is which we are currently in right now, a wave 2 high, and then a wave 3 low, a wave 4 high, and then some kind of 5th wave finally landing in our little zone at the bottom here. Okay, so that's kind of what's expected. These are not placed anywhere specifically, just kind of an indication of what my thoughts are. Now, with this recent set of candles from our 5th wave high, this being a zigzag pattern, a 535 or an ABC, this actually looks like a bit of a leading diagonal. We've got a little bit of overlap here, and this is a mixture of 3 wave moves and 5 wave moves. These are actually usually hard to find, hard to identify, and at the same time easily misunderstood or mislabeled. Okay, so it could be a leading diagonal here because I'm expecting 5 waves down. However, it could also be something totally different. So really what we're doing is we're waiting to see confirmation by dropping down lower than 19,770. My expectations are that there's a push to the upside to be had really soon. So I'm going to show you what I think is actually going on here in this little movement. So I think this is a little kind of mini 5-wave structure just here. Okay, so this is basically our little 5-wave move. So we go 1, 2, 3, and I think probably 4 and 5, something like this. So what we want to do is we just want to check this measurement here. You can see that we're right inside that little sweet zone just at the bottom here. If I just draw a little rectangle on here, you can kind of see that you're right in here. This is the expectation of that kind of 5th wave low. So we know that we're right in the zone. We could, of course, pull back down a little bit more, but we're right in that point. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that we're right where we would expect to be for finishing this move. Now, because we've got a 5-wave structure there, you might think that's a little bit odd and we haven't got necessarily 5-wave structures here. This is why I think we're in a leading diagonal, which means basically we have a little wave 1 here, a wave 2 here, we have a wave 3 down here, a wave 4 that overlapped wave 1, and then all of this is a wave 5. Okay, this then marks up our little wave 1. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here, so I removed those mini movements just in this little space here. But basically, you can see here, this is a diagonal shaped movement, right? If I draw a trend line on here, let me just see if I can draw that on roughly. You can kind of see it goes kind of down like this, right? So what's interesting about this is it is a 5-wave move, and you do have overlap, and it's a mixture between 3 and 5-wave structures. So essentially this little move to the downside is kind of expected. Now, at the bottom of here, I'm then expecting a surge upwards. Okay, now if I take a measurement from our current low, okay, up to our high, my expectations for this wave 2 will be somewhere in between a 50% retracement and an 88% retracement. So I would put our kind of next move upwards somewhere in this little range just here. Okay, so from here you can see we do move up. This actually comes in between, we'll call it 21,000 and 21,500. Okay, so somewhere in that kind of sweet spot right there. Then once that is in, we then should look to pull back down in a really significant way. Okay, so I would expect a 3-wave move to the upside within this little structure here. Okay, so I would expect to be something, oh, I pull that B wave down there. I would expect something like this, right? So we'd end up with some kind of structural move to the upside. That's usually 3-wave in nature. So yeah, so that's kind of there, and then of course we usher in down. Now, if we bring our Stochastic Rsi up into play here, you can see that our hourly Stochastic Rsi is looking for trying to move up a little bit here, but it could also pull back down. So we are looking at maybe retesting some of these lows just within this final 5th wave low. And before we actually get a bounce, we might find ourselves that this here becomes a double bottom, and then that's what takes us up a little bit higher. Okay, so we'll keep an eye out on that. On the 4-hour, of course, we need to see this move up. Okay, so that's you know, not exactly unusual. We're looking for this move to the upside here, essentially looking for the this wave 2 high. Okay, so the 4-hourly does support that move. The 8-hourly again supports the move upwards. So again, that little target there could be seen. Now, I don't think necessarily we're going to go all the way up into the overbought area on this, but I would expect maybe something similar to this, where we move up a little bit and then we pull back down. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking something like that. Now, the daily chart, of course, is overbought, and we are looking for that move to the downside. So again, that supports our lowers, our lower lows, right? So all of that kind of stuff is happening there, and we're on that journey, right? And here you can kind of see what this looks like. So I kind of said this a little while back in a thumbnail. I was kind of hinting at it, and there's common kind of moves. Let me see if I can find it. This, right? So we have this little area here, we have this little area here, and of course we've got this little area right here, right? These are very common patterns, and again, these things can be replicated anywhere, right? You can kind of see these particular types of patterns forming out. There's actually one here that goes in the other direction, for example, and they call them continuation patterns. For very specific reasons. They kind of look like they're just trading sideways, but in reality what's actually going on here is that they are basically getting you ready for the next move. You're kind of resetting your Stochastic RSIs, which are your momentum indicators, and you can kind of see the next kind of leg to the next kind of move, right? So for this is it's an interesting kind of perspective on it, but we are looking for that little bit more to the room to the downside, and that is really apparent here on our hourly chart as we map out all of these recent moves. So for Bitcoin, we're looking to finish this little diagonal move. Then we're looking to push up, where if I take it from our current low, we're probably talking a good 5 or 7% for Bitcoin. Many of those altcoins are also going to rally at the same time. And then, of course, that rug will get pulled, and you see this huge pullback here, right? Now, if our low does hold and we don't go down any lower, and we take this and we move it over to the higher end of this wave 2, then our wave 3 needs to be at least $18,500 down here. Okay, so those are the expectations. Now, obviously, if we don't go as high as that and we go down lower, then our lower expectations would be 18,100. So as you can kind of see, we're ushering in a little bit more of a room to the downside. So essentially, yeah, there's a lot of things to kind of think about, lots of things to kind of review. Essentially here on our daily chart, on our hourly chart, and the directional move is down. So if we're trading, there is an increased risk, specifically if we're going long, because you're fighting against the macro trend, which is down. But I am expecting a bounce to the upside, which would be a wave 2, so it would be a short bounce. So if you're trading and you're trying to look to get into anywhere here, for example, your exit should be reasonably early. Then of course, there's plenty of opportunity to short, in my opinion. But again, I don't promote leverage trading. I think it's incredibly risky and kind of, borderline gambling and stuff like that. So with all that being said, let's jump on over into my Bitstamp data on our weekly chart and review what happened, at the week's end. So let's just bring this up into play. So here we basically have everything from 2013 to 2021, or pretty much the current, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw that Gaussian channel on. We'll take a look at where that stands. Okay, cool. So Gaussian channel, historically, basically the Gaussian channel turns red when the value is there. You can see it pulled back down to these lower ranges, and basically it was a few weeks after the Gaussian channel turns red, so talking about 6 or so weeks in 2015 before you actually reached the bear market low. Very similar story here. It was a little bit longer, about 2 months or so in, before you actually reached the bear market low. You have the initial pullback, you bounced up, and then we fell down to the final low, and here we are right now with the red Gaussian channel that's been going in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 on the 5th week now. A little bounce up, and then I'm looking for those lows. Okay, I'm looking for finishing the finishing lows to come on in, so that we can usher in the end of this bear market here, and then we start to talk about how we get out of this. So again, nothing much has really changed here other than the fact that the Gaussian channel is still red, and historically, speaking, there's a fantastic opportunity when this is red to accumulate, specifically on the weekly chart. We don't take a look at this on anything else other than the weekly chart. So yeah, looking pretty good from a Gaussian channel perspective, and looking pretty good from an Elliott wave perspective, tracking everything that we are. It does look like we are likely to come down to those lows, over the next few weeks or so. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this video useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe? Tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.